Hi, I'm Paris, and if you'd like to join the fitness craze of using an activity tracker, but you don't want to spend $100, $200 for a fancy, complicated device that talks with your phone, well, the Step FX might be a good choice for you. Goes for $20. It's an as seen on TV product that will tell you how many steps you've taken each day, the distance you've traveled, how many calories you burned, and you can figure out how much money you saved.
Today on A Closer Look, it's Tech Tuesday.
The Step FX is not a complicated device. It does the basic things that most people want to need. The main thing it's missing is the heart rate monitor, but if you've been following the news on other devices and those, they're not necessarily so reliable, so why spend $200 for an unreliable heart rate monitor? You can just see what color of purple you've turned and sort of judge it the same way. Also, it's endorsed by not only Brett Favre quarterback, but Brett Favre quarterback legend. The Step FX comes in any color you like, so long as it's black, and looks like it's a simple wristband type activity tracker. The battery with this is not rechargeable. You do have to put, I think, little hearing aid batteries into it. Here are the instructions, some batteries, and the device itself. I've read through the setup instructions for this. Now you do pop the particular unit of it out of the band. Now there's a button on the front and then the screen, and then on the back there are two buttons. Here's the screen and here's the button on the front. This is the one you'll use to cycle through the information screens when you're wearing it. And on the back you can see two buttons here, and then this is where the battery goes in. I've put the battery in, the screen's lit up, flashing, waiting for me to enter the time and date. They give you two batteries and the world's tiniest screwdriver, just to give you an idea of what's involved in setting it up. These are the instructions for the time and date, and you use the button on the front and the two buttons on the back. It's a little bit more involved to enter all the information they'd like, gender, age, weight, stride length, but they do give you clear instructions on how to use the buttons to enter that information. I have programmed it. If you weigh much over 180 pounds, you're going to do a lot of button clicking to enter your weight, I can tell you that. Here's the time. Now, it's fairly easy to see in the light. There is no backlit option, so you will not see this in the dark. Month and day, November 7. I have taken 27 steps since putting battery in. That's 1/100th of a mile. When this reads 100, then you will have reached 1 mile. And there's how many calories I've burned. Pretty good in 1/100th of a mile, and I burned over 1,400 calories. This is the amount of calories that you burn even when you're not exercising. You can also press and hold the mode button and check yesterday's numbers, as well as go back and see what your average was for the entire past 7 days. Time to reassemble this and then go out for a 100-step walk and see how many steps it says I've taken. Okay, fits in there nicely. This is not waterproof. It puts me in about the middle of it. So it'll fit small wrists. It's unisex, men and women. It'll fit smaller wrists as well as wrists that are a fair bit larger than mine. Let's try 100 steps starting at 388. I took 100 steps. It's showing now 486, so it showed me at 98 steps. Pretty accurate. See what happens on the treadmill, starting out at 606. I'm not going to swing my arm. I'm just going to put it down here on the handle. 1, 2, 3. Still 606. So I'm thinking on the treadmill, if you aren't swinging your arm, you aren't getting credit for the steps. Let me swing my arm walking now. 19, 20. Shows 625, so it gave me credit for 19 of my 20 steps. So long as I'm swinging my arm, it's going to work. If I'm holding on to the handles of the treadmill, it's not going to count them. It does say I've gone about 1/3 of a mile, and in the time since I started this review, I've burned about another 100 calories, so that's some just from living and some from the walking that I did. Trying out the treadmill in the bedroom where the lighting is much lower, I did have a little trouble making out the digits on the screen, and I kept wanting to flick my wrist like I see Jimena doing with her Fitbit, but nothing happened except maybe it gave me credit for another step. The trend right now with these wearable fitness trackers is to make them more complicated, to add more features, which tends to make the battery last even less time and the price increase even more. If you're happy with just the basic set of, I can see what time it is, I can see how many steps I've taken, the distance I've gone, and an estimate of how many calories I've burned, I think for $20, the Step FX is a pretty reasonable device. I paid $20 for this over at Fry's, but I've seen online you can find it for about $15, so I'll put a link to that down below this video. Also, we'd like to give away one of these to a viewer, so we're having an Amazon giveaway. We'll have the link to that giveaway right down below this video. Click it and follow the directions, and you may be the proud owner of this fitness tracker. You'll be out there with everyone else wearing them, and someone will say, "Oh, is that an Apple Watch?" And you can say, "Oh, no, I was eating an apple earlier, and I think I got some in there, though." And if you like giveaways, keep checking back other days of the week for the other reviewers' videos. They often do giveaways as well. And I'll be back next week on Tech Tuesday for when you're done exercising and all you want to do is watch some free TV.